Hey guys, welcome to the Dad Shoes Podcast, the dad group you don't have to go to. Have you ever had to record your podcast by yourself because your co host is sick? Well, that's what I'm doing tonight. Connor and I had planned to record a little episode post Christmas, post New Year's, kind of kick off the new year. But unfortunately, he is ill. He's got no voice. Well, he has a voice. It's just very raspy and quiet. He got ill. It's not COVID. He's been tested a few times. Just kind of under the weather. So, in any case, Connor's taking it easy for this week. It's just me. And thought I'd give you a little update. So we had Christmas is done. New Year's came. So it is now 2022 as I speak to you today. My daughter's birthday. We celebrated that. And on the topic of birthdays, we realized that a few weeks ago, we released an episode about birthdays, and we mentioned a notable 100th birthday upcoming. That of the great Betty White. Unfortunately, she didn't make it. She passed New Year's Eve, and that made me sad. She was 99, almost 100, 2 weeks away. I think her birthday is the 17th. So she would have been 100 years old, but she didn't get to see it. And we thought, having mentioned her and her upcoming birthday so recently, we should address it. Hey, we're sorry. Our condolences go out to the family. It's a bummer. But it brings up a topic we have yet to hit on the pod, and that is that of mortality. How do we talk about mortality with our kids? I'm not exactly sure. I've brought it up with my oldest daughter before. I don't know that she gets mortality, and that's one of those topics that, do you remember when you first realized you were mortal, that there was going to be an end to your life? And as of January 2022, all human beings die that we know of. So, but Connor and I will address this at a future date. But it got me thinking: birthdays, people passing, the progression of time and life. And there was an episode of Bluey that I saw for the first time, I don't know, a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, and it's called Copycat. It's from the first season, and Dad and Bluey are taking a walk, and they find an injured little bird. They pick it up, take it to the vet. The vet says, comes back out and says, "I'm sorry, the budgie didn't make it." And you can tell that Dad is sad for Bluey, and Bluey is not happy. And in the car ride home, Bluey says, "Dad, I don't want the budgie to have died." And Dad says, "Oh, I know, me neither. There's nothing we can do. It's out of our hands." They get home, and Bluey reenacts the whole thing. She's out on a walk, and they're in the backyard, but she's out on a walk. And then Bingo is pretending to be the injured budgie, and almost word for word goes through and reenacts the whole scenario. And at the end, Mom plays the vet and says, "Oh, look, she's saved." And Bluey says, "No, she's supposed to have died." And anyways, they're sitting down, and Mom looks over and says, "This isn't how you wanted the game to go, is it?" She says, "No, but it's out of our hands." And long and short of it, I had expected when I first saw that episode for it to be like, oh, okay, we're hitting this topic now. We're going to talk about death. And it doesn't, sort of. But it may be perfect. It may be perfect. It may have just the right amount of dealing with it. Like, you know what? It's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do. Sorry. And that may be all that a child, especially I think Bluey's supposed to be 6 in the first season, is supposed to get. That's all. Maybe all they need. This is something that's out of our hands, and acceptance is important. Later on in life, you'll come to learn more and have a little bit better understanding of mortality. And at 6, all you need to know is nothing we can do. It's out of our hands. And I thought that was pretty good. Looking back after the episode, I think that was a really good one. And unfortunately, some people are no longer with us. And as sad as that may be, we are still here. So I hope everybody has a wonderful 2022. This is kind of a downer episode. But it's a small one. Connor's sick. We're talking about death. Starting out the new year. Hopefully we start out the new year on a down note, and it's better in the end. So thanks for hanging out with me today on the Dad Shoes podcast. The Dad Group, you don't have to talk to anyone unless you want to. We would love to hear your thoughts on today's topics. Condolences to the family of Betty White. Do you recall learning about your mortality? You can reach out to us at dadshoespod on Instagram and Twitter, or you can email us at dadshoespod@gmail.com. Connor and I will be back with you next week, I hope, and Happy New Year.